Obviously, there are three different paths in Chrono Cross that occur all at the same time. We only took one. And then there's the sort of anti-kid path immediately after that. So I am going to take at least one of those paths and the anti-kid path, and that should be that.
This has a Termina just like Majora's Mask.
Yes, it does. Except this Termina is slightly less damned.
I
Slightly.
don't know if I believe that.
I would just put like heavy emphasis on the slightly.
No, I mean, there's like a fucking version of this place that gets like completely fucking hosed by the military.
I guess it's more like it's gonna take more than 3 days, you know?
No, it's already happened in this one.
I mean, it can be hosed, but people are still alive as opposed to crushed by a celestial body.
I honestly would probably take crushed by a celestial body over living in like this the horrible like militaristic state that Homeworld Termina is in. Okay, so you're vehemently anti-kid, like not just.
So is this like a new... hi, Poochkins. I'm gonna say again, the font looks a lot modern. Is this like
a recent re-release?
Ah, cool.
Radical Dreamers Edition or whatever.
Radical DreamWorks Pictures.
Thankfully, no.
The very same.
Maybe.
Imagine if they kept Toriyama on for this.
God,
they would not have been able to convince him to draw 40 characters, and they would.
No, they would. He would have drawn 40 characters, but they would all like look like Goku of different heights.
Yeah. No, because like if you looked at his own devices, he'd have just drawn a bunch of monsters. Because that's what he
honestly, I think at the time he would have been busy with Dragon Quest VII. So.
I mean, quote unquote.
No, I think it's about. This would be about 6.
Wait.
No, this would be 7. It would like 7 has like a protracted like 4-year development.
Yep, you're right. I was thinking of. I got my numbers mixed up.
Yeah, no, that's not understandable. They're both the heartbeat ones. They're both kind of the bad ones.
6 isn't that bad. It's just.
Yeah, 7's problem, like, I feel bad, like, ragging on Story, because 7's problem is not that, like, any individual part of it is bad, it's that, like, they needed to cut, like, 50% of it, because even if the parts that weren't bad, like, they did not contribute enough to the whole to make that game over 100 hours long.
There's a reason why the remake of it trimmed the game portion down.
The remake's better. It's still not perfect, but it is the better version. So you going for Guile or Pierre?
We're going for Guile.
That's much easier than going for Pierre.
I mean, Pierre is pretty easy on New Game Plus because it's basically one boss fight.
Yeah, but also you have to deal with Pierre.
This is true.
You were saying?
I was just looking up. You mentioned Heartbeat. I just realized none of the Dragon Quests were developed in-house until 10, technically.
Yeah. Not Spike Chunsoft, just Chunsoft at the time for 1 through 5, Heartbeat for 6 and 7, level 5 for 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And a lot of the spin-offs end up being like Toasted, I think. But
yeah,
NX was not an internal... NX was not a company that had... NX was just a publisher.
Oh, I did not actually know... I didn't know they didn't have an internal dev team. That's very interesting. And,
they were strictly a publisher.
And yeah, because I knew they also published like manga, like Full Metal Alchemist and whatnot, before that got absorbed into Squeedix.
Yeah, they were strictly a publisher, which is why also like Yuji Horii was like, I don't know what the precise nature of his employment was, but I think technically it was that they had contracted with a company called Armor Project that is basically just a front for we are choosing to hire Yuji Horii.
Makes sense.
Similar to how, Masahiro Sakurai is, like, technically not employed. Yeah, it's just that, like, the contracts are limited to employ Masahiro Sakurai.
And it also makes it a lot easier for them to license characters to Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm. And then there was that brief horrifying period where Facebook tried to contract Sora Limited to make a VR game.
Sakura's probably like, why?
Apparently he contemplated it, but...
He thought about money, and then he thought about how he wanted to spend his time, and decided he was better off working on adding Sora to Smash Bros.
I'm trying to figure out what was... Yeah, he was approached... it was specifically because it was an Oculus game, and so no one would ever end up playing it.
It is hilarious to me that the Oculus is just so very much in it.
It's very funny to me that that Facebook is in a financial position where they are no longer allowed to just sit there and say it's okay that Oculus loses money hand over fist, and so they now have to raise the price of something that's been out for a year and a half.
Well, and also
For
interestingly
$100
enough,
more.
if you're unaware, there is the business version of the Oculus, which I think is an extra $400, and the only difference is that it doesn't require a constant online connection. So basically, the cost of collecting your data is $400.
I'm trying to think of any situation at all where an Oculus Rift would help me in my work, and I am just drawing a complete and total blank.
Oh, they really want to promote that.
Well, you have to consider, maybe you're developing for the Rift if you're a software engineer or something.
Yeah, sure. If I'm developing specifically for it, but when you say business version of it, I'm not thinking a development kit. I'm thinking like my work.
I mean, they really wanted to sell it as a virtual meeting.
Yes, that was their big thing, and they still promote
because
that with.
They're losing money hand over fist doing that. Now they really needed to make money every time it does sell.
You guys remember that fucking Facebook proof of concept ad thing where Zuckerberg talked for 40 minutes about how eventually the Oculus will fit in your glasses, but not now. Not for another 20 years.
There was no way I was ever going to watch
Everyone's
that.
been trying to make glasses.
I saw some clips
sort
of it.
AR, VR heads-up display for the past 20 years, and every time they get partway through it, and it's this is really expensive, and no one actually wants it.
Every time it comes up, people are just yeah, we have this thing called Zoom. It does exactly that, but better because nobody can see us from the waist down, and we can all turn our cameras off.
I'm very glad that no one at my company takes the idea of actually keeping the camera on seriously.
My webcam broke. We have camera on meeting once a week, just to get FaceTime. My camera broke and nobody has commented on it. I told everybody, hey, this is what's going on. I'll buy a new webcam soon. I haven't yet. Nobody's given a shit.
I've never used a webcam in my work meetings, and I'm so thankful, because I could just literally, yank out the mic. Well, back when I was working from home, I could just yank out the mic and go, just yell out into the void.
I think... Oh yeah, one of the things that they...
Who's this fucking Renaissance fair nerd?
It's Glenn. He might wind up on our party eventually.
I believe that was the entire point of this exercise, to go on with the indicated routes. Pooch says, when I was at my office job, they literally scolded us if we turned our cameras off. In Microsoft Teams, that sounds like abject misery. Yeah, I think one of the things that I was sent as part of my employee welcome package was a fucking thing that its sole purpose was just to block the webcam.
Nice. Was it just a face cutout that you could hold in front of yourself?
No, it was just straight up a company branded thing that's just yeah, you flip this onto the laptop and it just covers up the webcam.
It's very helpful, just having a little thing you can flick down. Because what if you forgot to turn it?
Yeah, no, it's useful to just have that as that physical barrier of even if I forgot to turn it off, you're still not seeing nothing.
Yep.
So unfortunately, we have to do a Korsha again.
Yeah, I hate
that. Why?
Thankfully, by the end of this,
we're finally free.
We will be in a parallel universe where he never joins the group.
But we'll get his mom.
Yeah, his mom just yells at him for being a jackass, and then he doesn't join. This entire thing is so strange because it like revels in how vapid the idea of allowing you not to recruit kid is, because it's just like nothing comes of this idea. Like they didn't write a story that can work without kids, so she just sort of has to tag along like someone's kid brother that was told not to hang out with them, but it's just like staying close by. It's like, oh, I wish I could join.
And also, inevitably, by the time you're Lynx and then kids on the other side of the field, Surge will eventually have that big, important flashback where he thinks back on all the times like he dealt with Kid. And it, like, if you somehow constantly rejected her, it means nothing. Like, she just...
You are united by some bizarre fate created by a developer who had, like, 5 different script ideas.
What's those yellow eyes there? What are they doing? What's the dog doing?
Wow. It's Corch's boat. Wow, he's moving it like... that animation has like 4 frames in it.
Why would anyone be excited by Corch's boat?
I mean, I would be excited because it would mean, oh, I can throw tomatoes at Corch now.
Oh good, it's Corch's boat, he's leaving. Yay!
That's something to be excited for.
We finally got rid of him, guys.
I also like that Corcha notes that he needs somebody to guide him to Viper Manor, despite the fact that it is the largest, most obvious building on the entire, like, archipelago.
I mean, if it's, it may mean like you might know where you know, how to get to like Disney World, but you might still need a GPS there. If you live in a window, I don't know.
But yeah, this is easily the most straightforward path to Viper Manor. You don't really have to do anything special to actually start this. And you can just sort of talk to Guile, so it was inevitably the path I ended up taking, because it was the path
I think
of
it's
least
a lot
resistance.
of people's first paths. I mean, I did it because Guile just looked cool.
Yeah, he looks cool, it's the path of least resistance. You meet Pierre and you're like, no. Because at that point, you're early enough in the game that you think that the characters might actually say unique things at some point.
Did they upscale like all the background textures for this game?
They ran it
there
through
seems to be
some
some
AI
AI
upscaler, and that's why it looks so fucking gross.
Yeah. I mean, it looks okay, but yeah, nah.
No.
That -10 there is so funny.
I will not be so kind as to say such things.
I'm too nice. I'm too nice. It looks like it was upscaled. I'm going to be honest, but that -10 just showing up there is like the funniest thing. Like, the fonts are just, I don't know. It's very
like,
aerial.
The 3D assets look fine. But anything 2D, and that includes the backgrounds, tends to look kinda... oof.
Wait a minute. Oh, I thought you said the 3D. I thought you said 3DS. Like this had a secret 3DS port or something, but no.
Not so much. Not so much. It does sort of look like character models upscaled to be about
like the
PSP
font
game
here
level.
on the results screen that looked okay, but when you get like the -10, that's just like that's like a placeholder like that. Like that's just a placeholder.
Bonk. I'm just appreciating Gogglebop getting bonked for PSP.
I wanted to see if you'd like just automatically get hit, and the answer is apparently yes.
Gogglebonk. I like how you're collecting these like treasure chests as though any of these would be even remotely useful to you in New Game Plus.
I mean, you never know when you might get a material that's of use.
This is definitely New Game Plus because he had 600 HP in that battle.
Okay.
It's hard to tell because the Master Immune requires being far enough along, and you have to re-get it every time.
Yeah, which is
That's
annoying.
The use of the Rainbow Swallow.
You have to like basically, if you want to get the like super best ending that only Surge is involved in, you basically like maybe I can do this. No, I can't. But if you want to get the super best ending and not have it take forever, you basically need to forge a rainbow weapon ahead of time.
Yeah, no, the Rainbow Swallow's usefulness comes entirely from the fact that it's like, well, you can't take the Master Mune with you.
It's like in Chrono Trigger when you kept Frog's second best sword.
My brain was going to try to call it the Excalibur 2, but that's FF9.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but think of something like Lode Sword or something like that. You get it from the past.
Well, it's just the Massamune, but it's just the powered up Massamune.
Yeah.
Also, Final Fantasy IX is a game that definitely should have a New Game Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, if only because of the
Excalibur 2.
Excalibur
Trying to speedrun FF9 to get the Excalibur 2 is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, what is the... Because the old days, the answer was to basically game your PlayStation 1. But that is no longer available.
I think it's easier in the mobile ports because of the speed up function, because that doesn't speed up the clock.
Oh, that's good.
Unfortunately, that version is not great to look at in terms of it's clearly like a mobile first port, so its interface sucks shit. But also, I find it's weirdly crashy, especially I was trying to play the Switch version, and it's it goes into sleep mode, and it's kind of 50-50 if it's just going to crash. And it's oh well, that eliminates a lot of the reason that I was going to play this. So yeah, please remaster FF9. FF9 does not deserve to be a game that has a worse remaster than FF8.
Yeah, I could see it.
I'll fight you.
I mean, I'll be honest, I always preferred 8 over 9. 9 has a lot of heart, and it's doing a lot right, but I do really like 8, so...
It's
good.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Some difference of opinion here.
No,
sorry.
Debate me, coward. Only don't debate me, because I don't have any opinion on FF8 at all.
8's the best of the PlayStation Final Fantasies.
No, I can't.
I'm gonna go take care of the dishes now. Talk to you later if I come back.
Talk to you later, dude.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Yeah, no, I will fucking... Listen, I spent a very long time trying to love FF8, and not love it back.
I mean, I hate to say this, particularly if Beat's still alive, but, how do you feel about the Persona games? Modern Persona games.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I enjoy them.
Interesting, because I always felt Final Fantasy VIII basically is that.
FF8 is that, in the sense that it's set in a school, but kind of nothing else.
No, I disagree, simply because, the major thing about Persona is just basically the characters kind of starting from lousy places and eventually learning, so to speak, who they are over the course of the adventure. And I feel like that describes Final Fantasy VIII.
All in the execution.
And, well, I mean, the whole, day planner aspect of Persona obviously isn't there.
I don't even mean that in terms of execution. I'm also talking about, I've tried. I don't like Squall and I don't like Ramona.
Well, then that's going to color
and the game really needs you to like both of them. Because... Oh my god, because I like the secondary characters. I like Zell, and I like Thalpy, and I like Irvine, and I like Keats as well enough.
Also, I just want to say, if you replace Zell with the Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5 best friend character, nothing would change.
No, Zell would become remarkably more homophobic, but...
True, my bad.
And or sexist. God. I've had to like describe the reasoning behind this in the past, and it's like those characters suck, at least in part on purpose.
Yes.
They're designed so that you, the protagonist, can lord yourself over them. But what was I going to say something about it? But yeah, like so much of FF8 relies on you liking Squall, liking Renoa, and buying the romance between them. And if that doesn't work for you, then the game collapses under its own weight.
Hello, Badger.
Oh, hey, Badger.
Hey, Badger.
Good day and welcome.
And the answer is that yes, it is 2000.
See, when 8 came out, I was, what, 18 at the time? Or no, not 18, 16? So yeah, Squall and Renoa kind of clicked for me because I was a dumb teenager.
I won't blame you for that.
I mean, it's not a romance for the ages, but I do feel like there is something there that's believable. I mean, like, I've seen much worse video game romances, is basically what I'm thinking.
I'll put it this way. It's believable, but it doesn't make me root for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm not here to tell anyone that they shouldn't try it.
Oh, yeah. Please, believe in your favorite Final Fantasy as much as you'd like to believe in your favorite Final Fantasy.
But I will say that trying to get all of the weapon upgrades, the ultimate weapon upgrades, that also nearly killed me, and also that I completely fucked myself my first time through because I put myself in a position where it's like, oh, I'm just strong enough to like get to the end, but I don't understand the mechanics well enough to actually finish it. And hoo boy, that castle was not a fun fight.
I'm just kind of mad because I had 2 saves for Final Fantasy VIII. One was a good one on disc 3 that had best everything, all the cards, could do anything I wanted. My last one was my second spot was for disc 4 when you can't do nothing in there but the final dungeon.
Yeah, the time compressed world.
Yeah, and guess which one I accidentally erased?
Oh, that hurts.
Boo.
But yeah, and I've tried to replay it because I really do want to reevaluate it, but I can't find a way to play it that's enjoyable for me because I don't like the cards, and sitting there drawing all the magic is miserable. I really feel like it honestly, because magic is also your equipment, there should have been stores that just sold it. It doesn't have to sell you the best stuff. The best stuff you can still have to refine or find other ways to get, but like, because magic is also how you improve your stats, it kind of needed to be something that you could get conveniently.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens if you just keep being level 1 through the entire game?
You can do that.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly doable. That's often goes hand in hand with trying to junction as much magic as possible.
So we're going to
I'm
see
sure
how
I'll
fast we
make
can
it
get through Viper Manor, which should be interesting considering how slow it went last time.
Yeah, I think that was like 2 strings.
It was just 1, but it was awful.
It's a long string. Still bothers me that Luminaire is only your level 5. Demand level 7.
Also, for anyone curious, I am officially doing, so to speak, the Chrono Cross Let's Play on my website. As yeah, we're getting there.
Wait, Chrono Cross is not Xenogears!
I think at this point he's not doing Xenogears just to troll you, Pete.
The plan
Honestly, I can't say I
is
believe it.
that there's going to be 10 weeks of Chrono Cross, and then after that, I will do Xenogears.
I was going to say that after that you'll start Xenoblade.
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
The most
No,
anime
that's
of
one.
animes.
It's an extremely anime.
Oh yeah.
I do appreciate that, by all accounts, they responded to people having issues with how complicated the battle system of Xenoblade 2 was in Xenoblade 3. Not by making the battle system any simpler, but by making it take way the fuck longer to explain everything.
And I was still getting tutorials by chapter 10 out of 20. And, like, I still had no fucking idea what I was doing.
But they got rid of the gacha mechanics or something.
I do not understand why a game where you couldn't spend additional money had gacha mechanics.
I didn't get that either.
It's such a weird choice.
I mean, it's the same reason that something like fucking like White Saga games are random as shit. It's like it's designed to make it so like, oh, your playthrough requires you to adapt. Like there's reasons to do that. It's just weird to see.
I was talking to Doc Squiddy not too long ago, and he was talking about gachas, and he's like, so here's the thing. Gachas are evil, obviously. That's not even up for debate. But I enjoy opening up packets of baseball cards. So, you know. So that's why you could absolutely do a gacha in a game without money, because sometimes it's fun to open up packets of baseball cards.
Yeah, it's fun to see what comes out, and it's also like an organic way to force suboptimal play. Because, like, you look at how people, especially RPGs, how people approach them, and the answer is that they look for what will guarantee the highest numbers and immediately go for it. And so, you know, some people are fine with that and produce games that allow that to be done. And some people, like, try to find ways to make that harder to do. And, like, that kind of randomization is part of your, like, options for how to make it harder to, like, try to game the system for pure optimization. You're just hanging out with Glenn all you can, aren't you?
Obviously. There we go. Can I fight this stupid thing? No. That's annoying. Alright. Back to sleep mode.
Yeah, Coco Jumbo, yeah.
Guess I have to meet whatchamacallit.
Yeah, Coco Jumbo, yeah.
Dragoons forever.
Oh, Legend of Dragoon, is that the next one?
Yeah, we need to figure out what the next one is, come to think of it.
So what you're saying is it's Legend of Dragoon?
That is not what I'm saying. It's
Are
going
you
to be
a coward,
Lightning
or have you
Returns.
played Legend of Dragoon?
Never played Legend of Dragoon, but my shitty roommate, when I was in the corridor, he played it.
It's not very good, but I'm fond of it. I could
I
never
never said I was fond of
recommend
it.
Hmm?
I never said I was fond of it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you shouldn't be. I assumed that the association with shitty roommate implied you were not fond of it.
Badger says we should absolutely play Legend of Dragoon in the year of our Lord 2022. And Grimlock thinks it's a good game.
I'm not a huge fan. Let me revise that. I don't think it's very well made, but there is a part of me that likes it.
And there's something to be said for, B-level games.
I would put that more at like a D-level game, see me after class, but it was a game that combined my love of Final Fantasy and Power Rangers, so
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. I mean, Saga Frontier did that at one point for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Something about it, but yeah. the one thing that I always pull out when I'm talking about that game to people is something that's so far in the game that no one is ever sure whether I'm making it up, because there's a part where you have to like fire new laws for a city out of a cannon. And yeah, no, I think it's like Disc 3 or 4 that you have the law launcher in.
Anything good?
I mean, you have to pass laws in order to make it legal for your characters to exist in that city.
I do have to say, the idea of getting a law launcher doesn't sound like a bad one.
There's some other like laws you can pass in there. Some of them matter, some of them don't.
Grimlock agrees with you, the Lost City's the best.
It's one of the most memorable parts because it is like a creative set piece. 14-year-old Badger enjoyed the crap out of it. Thought of playing it again makes me preemptively tired.
That's how I kind of feel about Wild Arms 3, which is why it's now a Let's Play. Because
I still love Wild Arms 3, I just wish it was fast.
Like, the only way that I was ever going to replay it was for, like, a purpose. Because otherwise it feels like, you know, I am just wasting my life.
Like, if it was just a little faster, I think it'd be a very recommendable game. Like, a re-release that had, like, a speed-up function, sure.
I mean, there's definitely a significant reason, aside from the usual, that I'm playing in a New Game Plus mode.
But, like, I still think that it has, like, charming characters, great art design, and kind of the, like, best interpretation of Wild Arms Phil Gaia as a setting.
Yes, 100% agreed. I mean, that was the first game that I really bought that you were living in a wasteland, because Wild Arms 1 and Wild Arms 2 both make big points about, like, how you're in a sort of, you know, the entire world is a Wild West, vaguely post-apocalyptic wasteland. And
I always felt like that was more of a marketing thing, especially for Wild Arms 1.
I mean, and that's the thing. But then when you got to Wild Arms Alter Code F, they did make it much more
like that felt like the tail wagging the dog. Like, people wanted it to be the Wild West RPG, so they made it more.
Well, I mean, it is definitely a Wild West RPG in a lot of ways, because, I mean,
but it's like a melange of things.
Well, yes, that is 100% true. I mean, you've literally got elves that you eventually deal with.
You got elves and home crosses and giant robots and like the Princess of Adelheid is just a medieval place. Like, it felt like it was like the usual like fantasy melange that you saw in that era of RPGs, but they also threw in some Wild West, and that was the thing that made it different from the other ones.
Yeah, I can
so
see
it
that.
became the series' identity.
But like the whole whistling intro and everything, like I could see where
the
they were
whistling
going.
was added to the US version.
Oh no!
Like in Japan, it's a J-pop song. There's lyrics.
But no, I'm only joking with the whistling thing.
Oh,
like,
okay,
just the general visuals of it, definitely. Like, there's sort of Lost Society, and there's definitely Western nonsense going on there.
Yeah, but there's everything.
Yes.
And they leaned harder into it with 2, but not fully. And 2 I love, but 2 is, like, insane.
2 is insane, but they do, whether it's Western or not, which, of course, obviously a big part of it is like demons, and it's almost like a modern.
A larger percentage of it is Western, but still nowhere near the level of commitment that 3 has.
But it's also a game that right from the beginning definitely establishes that you're dealing with a world that previously experienced a great war, and that's why everything is so bad.
Everything's fucked in Phil Gaia.
Right, but legitimately it isn't that bad. Like, there are forests and oceans.
It really depends upon where you are.
Like, you could vacation there.
like where Ashley starts out, it's like there's the one nice town, and then everything's kind of a horrible, craggy desert.
Yeah.
But then they get bored of that and do everything else.
Yes, that's the thing.
And then with 3, they finally were like, no, we will just make a like Western wasteland.
Yeah, no, 8 is just straight up like the ocean has turned to dust.
Now, that's really cool, aesthetically.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that it came out around the same time as Breath of Fire 4 doing something similar, too.
Mm-hmm.
The Mud
So it's
Ocean.
Breath of Fire 5, I think. Or...
No, Breath of Fire 4. That's the one that
Oh,
has
yeah.
the Mud Dragon.
Yeah. The...
Breath of Fire
Yeah.
5 had its own little post-apocalyptic area, but it was a different kind.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. I was thinking about, like, because when I think of the post-apocalypse, I definitely think Dragon Quarter.
Yes.
It's definitely
more
a
of
game that was
everybody-
more to my taste.
Everybody decided to move into their mom's basement as opposed to the world has been destroyed.
I always like the concept and aesthetic of an underground society.
Yes, 100% agreed.
But yeah, like 2 is, like, 3 is the best Wild Arms, and probably the one that is easiest for me to recommend, but 2 is still my favorite for being so weird.
Yes, well, I mean, that was part of the reason I did the Let's Play of that, was because basically I maintain that it is not as weird as some people make it out to be, but it definitely has a problem that can only be solved by twincest.
That sure did happen.
What?
My
Oh, you have to
actual
read the
I
Wild
zoned
Arms Let's
out for a
Play.
moment there, but then
You did not read Wild Arms 2, What Blazes.
okay.
But yeah, like my favorite thing, of course, is just, you know, as everyone's is, everything that comes out of Liz and Art's mouths.
Yes.
I
Self-stylized.
I find a lot of use for the phrase "the era of the intellectual gangster is over." But I do appreciate, in a JRPG context, that Wild Arms 2 is fundamentally a game about how the concept of a hero sucks.
Yes. 100% agreed.
And like that I feel like that is a more resonant thing to do in something as hero focused as a JRPG.
Yeah, the idea of a hero sucks, and also just basically sacrificing yourself for everything is going to make your friends unhappy with you.
Like it will destroy you and everyone around you, and it will only appease like people who decided that it was okay for you to be miserable.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really it sticks with me so much. Which pillar am I supposed to hit here?
I want to say the front left one, but I'm not sure.
But anyway, the one thing that really sticks with me from Wild Arms 2 forever, in a manner of speaking, is the bit where you meet the legendary hero back in time.
That section is so good.
That section is amazing. Like, I'm convinced they had, like, a guest director or something like that. And the second to last pillar on the left. Okay. But the bit where she basically literally says, I kind of just wanted to hang out with my friends, and then I started getting followed by a magical werewolf, and I had a magical sword before I knew it. Like,
Oh, damn it, Lucian.
yeah, it's like... like, she literally says, I don't even know when this dog showed up, but there he was.
It's great. It's just... Yeah, there's something that's, like... for such a wild premise, there's something impressively human about that section.
Yes, it's 100% human. And also, it's the part where they create, like, a sort of time paradox with a character meeting you for the first time, even though you've met her. And they kind of make it sweet, in that she's like, you know, like the kid version of, you know, I'm going to grow up to know who you are or whatever. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, no.
Like, the whole thing,
That-
like, is just
That
amazing.
shit's why I can't not love Wild Arms 2, even if there's, like, a lot of problems with that game.
Yes.
But yeah, like... And then Wild Arms 4 is Wild Arms 4.
Yeah, no, I literally could not get through Wild Arms 4.
I don't know whose idea it was, but it's like... Now it has, like, minor platforming elements. I don't know.
Man, I was excited about that. The thing that bugged me is that its presentation went so incredibly downhill.
It is... Yeah, like, it is presentationally, like, it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, it is, like, why am I even supposed to care about these text boxes that are happening? This may as well be a visual novel.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say something about it? So this was made by, like, the Wild Arms franchise was a Media Vision creation. And it is worth noting, like, Media Vision was basically started up largely as a company that got seed money from Sony so that there would be people making PlayStation 1 games. But it's fascinating to go and look at why that company was able to exist. I've long held that if you look at any obscure like B-tier JRPG franchise, you will probably find a connection to either Falcom or Telenet.
Okay.
So if you look into, like, one of my favorites is that, like, you look into the Lunar games, and Game Arts is co-developer and publisher on those, but they're co-developing with a studio called Studio Alex. And if you look into Studio Alex, it's like, oh, that was a bunch of East 1 and 2 developers. And for Wild Arms' part, you look into its history, it was founded by a bunch of former Riot employees, and Riot was a subsidiary of Telenet, who worked on a, at the time, well-regarded JRPG franchise called Tenshi no Uta. That was kind of a relatively big deal on the PC Engine.
Is that the one that got, like, one fighting game that, like, we never in America...
You're thinking of Far East Sweden.
My bad.
Yeah, that's Tengai Makio.
Of course. I'm amazed that you immediately know what vague thing I'm thinking of.
Are you at this point?
I mean, kinda.
Repeated
like, I could say
trauma
something.
the
first thing that came to my mind is really insulting, so I'm not going to say it.
Go ahead and say it.
Again, don't take it personally, but it's kind of like when a dog does a trick, and you know the dog is trained for the trick, but still, it's like, hey, a dog's doing that. So yes, I can see how that might be insulting, but you made me say it.
It's fine, I asked for this. You learned Rashley Badger says you learned the important lesson in Wild Arms 4 that all the dogs were evil.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was one of those things where, like, I saw previews about that game before it came out, and, like, the writer is not shy about, like, yes, this is my premise that I am setting out before I even release this game. I want people to know that is my point. That's a choice. But yeah, I love looking at looking up like weird old. Oh wait, no, I'm just thinking of other bad PS1 RPGs that you could consider playing for future streams. Gotta go about.
Whatever will make Pete suffer the most.
I don't think. Well, I was gonna bring up Shadow Madness, but I don't think that would make Pete suffer. It would make you suffer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would make everyone suffer.
There are some things that are fun in Shadow Madness.
Why does that name sound so familiar to me?
It was advertised.
You probably saw it on a shelf at some point.
Very big electronics boutique ad.
You love the protagonist Stinger and the heroine Windleaf, I think. It's bad. It was a JRPG, but I don't believe it was actually developed in Japan. I know that, like, Ted Woolsey did writing on it. Let's see, who actually made this? Graveyard Studios, which was a development studio out of presumably California, because it was a subsidiary of Crave Entertainment. It hasn't existed for many years. But yeah, Shadow Madness was a American-developed Japanese-style RPG that had writing provided by, at the time, former Square translator Ted Woolsey. And it's got some occasionally snappy dialogue. That's about the most you can say for it. It does however, have one of my favorite ill-considered balancing decisions, which is it has a level cap of 16, but a leveling curve similar to a normal JRPG.
So you're level 16 compared to level 40 monsters?
No, I mean that you get to level 16 4 hours in.
Oops.
Also, because it still has the same number of spells as a normal JRPG, they're most spellcasters will just get 3 or 4 spells per level, and none of them have descriptions.
I was about to say that's a good way to annoy your audience.
Reminds me of playing Lunar.
Yeah, pretty
Who's
much.
playing Lunar?
I mean, were there descriptions in, I want to say, Persona 3? I feel like that was a big one. Yeah, where I was constantly Mabufu, okay.
Yeah, everyone's first SMT game is always just, what the fuck do any of these spells do? You're the assassin of time. We will not be coming back to this.
Yes.
Hi, I'm the Chrono Trigger.
The time ass.
I'm just remembering your fucking Assassin's Creed, your old Assassin's Creed thread beat.
That was a masterpiece, and I'm very, very sad it's gone forever.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that's sad that it can't come back.
You know, I was actually able to back up my Facebook history recently. You know how they offer that on both Twitter and Facebook that you can download everything? And so I decided to give it a shot for Facebook. You know, it was 22 gigs?
That seems like too many.
It's literally, it's kind of scary because, it's literally every conversation and picture and I've sent back and forth on Facebook Messenger for, the last 10 years.
That sounds horrifying.
Isn't it? And legitimately, it wouldn't be half as bad if, sadly enough, my primary messenger didn't used to be GChat. But exactly. But there was definitely a point where just Facebook Messenger was my main way of communicating with everyone, and that's how that gets to be 20 gigs.
Should have stuck with ICQ.
Oh, you want to hear my funny ICQ story? So I definitely had ICQ back in the day. And I think I was literally 14 or 15, when I really set it up and had a thing. So it had to be, I was in college at the time, so it had to be 4 or 5 years later. I'm dating a girl, and one day she got completely mad at me for what best I could tell was absolutely no reason. And I was eventually I was kind of okay, what is going on here? I know something is up, just please tell me. And she says, I found your online profile where you're talking about how you want to meet girls and everything. And I'm what are you talking about? It turned out she had actually found and dug up my ICQ number. And I still had
you hadn't updated in years.
Right, I still had a profile on it from Literally I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, I don't think shit that we said when we were 14 should necessarily be held against us.
Well, I mean, it was definitely still the so to speak active profile. So,
it was just that you had never updated it because why the fuck would you?
Right, exactly. So I mean, after I explained it, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but I mean,
okay.
The
funny
thing
she didn't
is,
hold it against you after she found that out.
Well, the funny thing is the reason she got mad at me was because she had heard that essentially, and again, this was years after ICQ was prominent, but she had heard that basically computer nerds were big into using ICQ for communicating with each other. So she kind of got it into her head.
It was your secret profile.
Right, that it was my secret online nerd profile that was this is where I was really talking to people. And it's
Learn to trust people, lady.
The last time I used it was before AIM existed. But again, once I explained the situation, there wasn't a grudge or anything. But I was just kind of like, why are you mad at me?
I still think it's very funny now that I think about if I trace the chain of interactions, that the only reason that I'm here is that I got hold of Beat via AIM and IRC in like 2010. It's a little late for that to be happening.
IRC.
Follow the dominoes.
Mm-hmm. I'll make sure I don't accidentally agree to anything here.
That would be tragic. Well, stream's over.
Okay, I got the amulet.
Just imagining Serge actually talking here and just being like, well, poisoned. Well, good luck with that.
I'm sorry. There's a party member that won't join me if you're around because you kind of tried to kidnap his girlfriend.
Forgot about that. A lot of times people just don't join you in RPGs for entirely arbitrary reasons.
Mm.
So I forgot that they had some sort of explanation for why Glenn won't join you. I think my favorite of those is Star Ocean 2. The pharmacist Bowman will not offer to join you if you have recruited the girl in the same town, Priestess. And he just never offers, so the only thing I can think of is he's like, oh, I can't deal with this kid 24/7. God, I love Star Ocean too. I need to play that again.
Actually, come to think of it, you never finished Soul Reaver on the stream, did you?
No, I should go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, we should do that.
We're like 2/3 of the way through.
I mean, that's the funny thing. Eventually, I'm going to upload those Death by Degrees streams, and they're separated by like 7 months. And no, I'm not going back and finishing that.
Pooch, many apologies for the IRC and ICQ shit, dragging you back to unhappier times. Yeah. Honestly, if I didn't know that I would be at it for decades, I would probably try doing a stream of Star Ocean 2, but it's just such a lot.
I mean, that's the thing. There's a part of me, I talk about doing Wild Arms 3 as a Let's Play because that kind of gives it a purpose. I have
gives you an obligation.
Right, and I pretty much have a similar thinking on Final Fantasy 13. And to be clear, I'm talking about Final Fantasy 13-1.
Yeah, very specifically.
But, that is a game where, and I feel like I could definitely revisit that, particularly after having played Xenosaga, and have a better understanding of it. As an adult.
13 is a game I feel like is good despite itself.
Yes, no, there's a lot in there that, at the time, I was kind of mad at. Give me a town, you bastards. But, I feel like there are...
I feel like FF13 is a game that falls apart the second that it, tries to let you be self-directed.
Agreed. Which was the thing that everybody,
my interest just drops off a cliff in, Chapter 11, because it gives you that one brief moment where it's you should go do things in Grand Pulse. It's why am I still here?
I mean, that's the funny thing, is because I definitely at the time was of the impression that Grand Pulse was I'm finally being let loose. And,
a lot of people see it that way.
The tutorial of the game is over, but, that is ignoring the majority of the game.
It's ignoring the majority of the game, and it's also ignoring what the game is actually good at.
Yes.
Like, it has a very, like, for those first, like, 10 chapters, it has a very fast pace relative to what it's actually doing.
It has a very fast pace, and it very much has a excellent, whether anybody likes it, has an excellent marriage of gameplay and plot, because, like, you're being railroaded, but that is the point. Like, everything that's going on in the game is because you're a fugitive with literally no other way out.
It's very clearly a game that was designed around what was finished.
Yes, that makes sense.
That has its vices, but it also has its virtues, and part of that is that, like, well, we need this to push the player forward, so we build things to make that work. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I basically saying what I would have said.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, you know, the sequels get weirder and dumber because they clearly aren't, at least built from a strong passion about what 13 was, and are clearly reactive games. Specifically, 2 is an extremely reactionary game.
2 is reactionary, but also even beyond that, it is definitely a game... How do I put this? I am not convinced it ever wanted to be Final Fantasy 13-2.
It had to be 13-2 because that was just what assets they had.
Yes. But beyond that, like, the whole time travel plot and the Last Hunter and all that, like, there's no universe where if you said they're making a sequel to Final Fantasy 13, you would say, oh, this is what it's going to be about. You would have had any of that
on your bingo card.
And never mind the fact that if you're paying attention, with the exception of the main characters in Final Fantasy 13, with the exception of them, literally everybody from Final Fantasy 13 is dead by the end of Final Fantasy 13 too.
Yep.
And it does not, and that is not something that is treated as the saddest thing ever. It's just kind of like, no, we never cared about these guys.
we have acknowledged that we only care about the party.
Yes.
And then 13.3 is just someone being let loose with just enough budget and assets to try to craft their own Valkyrie Profile 3. And you know what? I respect it. It's not a half-bad Valkyrie Profile 3. It's yeah, like it's such a hard game to like even like think too hard about, because it's so much like everyone individually has done a good job in terms of what they were asked to do in 13, and it doesn't fail to come together, but it doesn't come together as well as any individual part seems like it deserves to.
There's that, and then also it is in the full scope of having played Final Fantasy games that have come out after Final Fantasy 13. Mm-hmm. I feel like I understand it better, but at the time, and I don't think this is wrong, I don't know if it's a good Final Fantasy because a lot of what I consider to be good about previous Final Fantasy games is completely absent in 13. Like, if you ask me to draw a map of where you go in Final Fantasy 13, I could play that game for the entire length of the game.
Essentially that it has no sense of place.
Yes, it has no sense of place, it has no sense of world, and it has no sense of, like, anybody existing beyond your party. And it is something that previous Final Fantasy games did wonderfully. Like Final Fantasy X.
Especially on from like once you get to like 5, 6, they start having like a very strong sense of like place and identity.
Yes. And like even Final Fantasy X, which is a very railroaded game.
It is every bit as linear as 13.
Yes, 100% linear, but also a game that absolutely, like, if you ask me to...
I mean, Spira is the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you ask me to describe individual Spira-ins, is that what you say? Spirans?
Spirans, I was
people from Spira. But if you ask me to describe them, like, I could write paragraphs about them.
You can write about all sorts of those like background characters.
Yeah,
like Maken or Saru or
right, and it's extremely railroaded, but these are characters that like, you know, make an impact on everything.
Guys, I'm probably gonna call it. I'm stupid exhausted.
Oh yeah, no, get a good night's sleep.
Take care, B.
Have a great one.
I hope the JRPG discussion has successfully put you to sleep.
Yes, go yell at the ceiling.
Have a good one. Peace.
Have a good one.
Peace. No, nothing can stop us. Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of intangibles about how things come together that determines how people feel about them, and there's certainly a vein of critical discussion that runs strong in nerd circles that doesn't like that.
Yes, and again, like there are significant parts of Final Fantasy 13 that, like, I do not. At the time, I thought, like, this isn't what a Final Fantasy game should be. Why are you fucking with me like this? Like, I'm accessing shops from the save menu. What is wrong with you? But
I haven't gotten call shop on my Tonberry King GF.
yes, exactly. It's like, what are you doing to me? But once we actually get into it, it's like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah. And, like, it's a game that makes a lot more sense when you've seen Motomo Toriyama's GDC postmortem on it.
Yes.
Which I assume you have.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, so it really was made from parts. You know, very, very successfully Frankenstein together for the most part.
Very successfully.
But I will never forgive how bad of a fake out the Saw's death is.
I mean, like, I don't know how much that's supposed to be for real.
They carved him out in a coffin.
But is it like, I don't know, like sort of a deliberate sort of nonsense?
I mean, they do the thing where he like points his gun at his head and then they like fade to black, and then the next time you see him, they have inexplicably put him in a coffin. I don't think they ever give an explanation as to why they put him in a coffin.
To trick guys or something.
It's a number of choices all in a trench coat.
Okay, so we now officially have 2/3 of the alternate cast and crew.
What's the third? Oh, are you just thinking of Pierre?
No, actually.
Oh god, here's the third.
You'll think you've mentioned him on the stream before. You'll figure it out if you think about it.
I don't want to think about it.
Don't worry, he's not that bad. He's just kind of there.
There's so many people that could be. Like, your options in Chrono Cross are typically bad or boring.
God.
Also, I think at some point I jokingly mentioned literally every cast member this game possesses.
That's true, but he's somebody you did actually talk about at one point. Like, for reals.
I have to think of who you didn't actually get last time. You went out of your way to get tons of people that no one should get.
He's impossible to get unless you take the anti-kid path.
I only ever remember Glenn being on that path.
Yeah, there's Glenn, there's Matcha, and then the third one is 3 letters. We have seen him during the stream.
Wait, Doc?
Doc, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that you had got him last playthrough. So
No, you can't get him if you're friends with Kid.
Yeah, he's such a weird, like, they kind of give him the surf bum shit, but then, like, he's also, like, one of the most serious characters in the game.
He's, like, super sad.
Yeah, like I don't.
And his moves are like Hang 10.
Yeah, it's like it's not like they're drawing any kind of deliberate contrast. They just smash two things together.
That's an appropriate description. I like the last time we did this, we had like a party that included like a luchador and stuff, and it's like, oh, a ghost ship, and they react exactly the same.
Yeah. God, there's so much wasted potential in this game.
I mean, Matcha should have a different reaction than a luchador.
It's true, but none of these characters get to be characters.
And the undulating water in the background.
Yeah, that looks so bad blown up to the side. Like we have just sort of waved it back and forth and squashed and stretched it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that looked fine on SD on a blurry TV.
Yeah.
And it looks like shit here.
So I do like the fact, if anyone's paying attention, if you want to rescue Kid, you have to go through the Hydra Marsh and beat the Hydra and get the Hydra humor and come back. Mm-hmm. And it's an entire, like, large and complicated dungeon. Mm-hmm. And if you don't try to save Kid, you just skip it. Like, there isn't an alternate dungeon. You just fast forward to where you go to Fargo. And also, vaguely more importantly, like, further proof that you're really not expected to skip Kid, like, you know, on your first playthrough. You don't dimension hop at all.
Yeah. Even though you were given the component you need to be able to do it.
Well, you lose it because Korcha takes it from you.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Korcha just steals it.
Yes. So you don't get it.
It's, I mean, it's just mildly amusing that happens.
I mean,
except for Korcha's involvement.
Like, the funny thing is that the trio, like, yeah, everybody gets a different entrance into Fort Dragonia that would be different depending on which character you have. But in this case, where there's the other major gulf between, so to speak, one dimension and the next, they didn't throw anything in there.
Yeah, this feels like something where it's like they had the premise of the idea of, and sometimes don't save Kid and get these characters, and then they were like, well, what do you do then? Nothing.
Exactly.
Norris goes and kills the Hydra, whatever.
Yes. You find out after the fact.
It just feels like someone was like, well, who saves Kid and kills the Hydra? Let's say Norris. Why? Moving on.
He's from the mainland. They have Hydras there.
Fine. Everything's fine.
Defeating them with laundry holding. But we've got Glenn on the team, which means we can actually do one of our double attacks.
Finally. That's the secret reason you did this.
100%.
An organic excuse to do a double tap.
There, we're done. We did it. It lasted 30 seconds.
One from the frog reference. They still didn't have anything to do with them.
That's the move from the game.
Remember the game? Remember the one you liked?
God. There was a character named Colette in that, too.
Remember how F-Strike is inexplicably red element? Despite being done by a green element and a white element?
I mean, that's how it works, right? White and green makes red. Not
how
just
that works?
light green. Jolly ho, up and at him. unload on Fargo here. Make me fight a pet parrot, will ya? Blarg. It actually is Gled's Bushwhacker. No. There it is. Dash and Gash. That's what leads to the X strike. Which, come to think of it, is pretty much just exactly what Surge has too, which is kind of boring. He put a surprising amount of effort into Matcha's moves. For a character that most people will likely never get and absolutely never use.
To be fair, that tech was one of the least impressive animations in the game.
It was a crappy animation, but it isn't just run forward with a sword.
It's true.
And the one with the laundry folding was kind of inspired. It's a weird kind of thing, but like everybody can do a cutting move, but the idea of somebody attacking with laundry folding or dirty dishes is slightly different. I mean, we talk about the X Strike returning, but it has to be the most boring possible tech in the universe, right? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So normally you attack with one sword, but follow me here.
Swords.
2 swords, 2 guys. And they both come from a different angle.
The strongest point to make about X Strike is that X Strike is cool because you like Chrono and Frog.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say the way Bob described it, it's like I read Slash Fiction and it sounded the exact same way.
That's because you like a boy and a frog.
The boy and his frog.
Blaster
Master was a good.
Yes. Everybody's thinking the same thing.
I'm so
Was it
glad
really
that-
Slash Fic when they actually published it as Worlds of Power?
That's what I'd
I'm
like
glad
to
that
point
Blaster
out.
Master Zero turned out to actually be good.
Yeah.
They made so many attempts to we'll make Blaster Master, it'll be great, and it's like, no, it sucks like all the other ones.
I was about to say the PlayStation 1, God.
Blasting Again's not even in the top 5 bad Blaster Masters.
I
That
don't
one at
know
least
about
has a
that.
reason to exist.
As somebody who got excited about Blaster Master coming back and then it was that, I don't know.
Buddy, did you play Blaster Master 2?
I did, and Blaster Master 2 is crappy, but at least it's going for something.
No, it's not. It's going for British. Blaster Master 2, you got Blaster Master Overdrive on the Wii, that one sucks real bad. Got
Yeah, that was another one that was yay, they're bringing Blaster Master back. Oh no!
oh, I wish they hadn't brought Blaster Master back.
Why did you do this?
Blaster Master Boy?
No, oh, is that the Game Boy one?
That's one of the Game Boy ones. There are 2 Game Boy ones.
Oh, come to
Blaster
think,
Master Boy is the one that's bottom down.
oh, of course. Come to think of it, the Wii one, a friend of mine who doesn't play video games that hard, but was really into it, the Nintendo years, had a Wii and was very excited about Blaster Master coming back. And,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, I feel like he's still is hurt.
Should just let him play Blaster Master Zero. The first one especially is just I just wanted to play Blaster Master 1 but gooder. It's still got Jason Frudnick in it, but now he's an anime boy.
Yes.
I love that. I love that complete baffling marriage of the American and Japanese plots.
Now he's an anime boy.
We finally saw Jason Frudnick as we all thought he should be.
Now when are they going to do Star Tropics dropping again?
Oh, Jesus.
I can't play Star Tropics. I did not have it as a child, and I have no attachment to it. So when I try to play it, it's nope, can't.
Star Tropics 2 was, I've mentioned this bore, one of 2 games that I had at my grandmother's house that I could play when she was like babysitting me. It was that and Mega Man 6. And as a result...
6 was actually really good.
Oh yeah, Mega Man 6 is really good and also great for replays because, you know, you can do it different ways and stuff.
Yeah,
But-
like the slightly open-ended levels.
Yes, exactly. But Star Tropics 2, as a result of being the one game that was available at Grandma's, was like, you know... That is not a short game, and I played through it so many times.
Yeah. No, if you asked me, I'd probably put like Mega Man 6 as like maybe my second favorite NES Mega Man.
What would be number 1?
Probably 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Say
I
probably 2, 3, then 6.
was about to say I'm a 3-2 kind of guy.
Mm.
I mean,
For
I
me, like... Okay.
after you.
No, all I was gonna say was that, like, for me, like, 3's got a lot of just, like, little things about it that, like, end up bothering me too much.
And see,
I don't
I
like
feel
the Doc Robot stages.
Yeah, Doc Robot stages aren't my favorite, and also the game, like, I don't normally care too much about this, but it's the kind of game where it does matter. That game runs like shit.
I mean, legitimately, I am somebody who enjoys the Doc Robot stages, so that is a big determining
That'll
factor.
help a lot.
And as you mentioned, like, the little things that annoy you, Mega Man 2 has more of those, in my opinion, than Mega Man 3. Like, just Boo Beam Trap, I could never see that again and be happy.
We
Like-
all know about Booby Trap.
Like, that is something that just, that entire level just knocks off so many points.
Yeah, I thought this was just something that was very funny to me. So, like, a few weeks ago, probably a month or so ago, I was going through my horrible list of Mega Man games that I have to finish.
What's left?
Currently in progress. Okay, I'll pull up the list of what's currently left. It's very few games. Currently left, Mega Man Star Force 2 and 3. I'm in the process of doing Star Force 2.
Okay, and those are good, or at least not bad.
Finishing Battle Chip Challenge.
Which is, you know, you could do that on your lunch break.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like every so often I throw it on. Like there's some. It's kind of cute to see characters that aren't land get to have stories, so that's fun.
Oh, you're doing like everything. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Super Adventure Rockman, which I can't properly play. I'm probably just gonna watch a playthrough of that.
I was about to say I have no idea how you would do that.
Yeah, I've played through this before, but I haven't played it for this marathon. But Maverick Hunter X
Mm.
and the Legends games.
Well, okay, that's not bad. That's a good list.
Yeah, basically I've got nothing bad left.
And you just watched the Legends games, so...
Yeah, but I'm gonna play them again because
yeah,
I
I
like
know,
them.
I'm kidding.
But what I was gonna say was, so I had to play the Game Gear Mega Man,
Oh.
and that game's not great. It was made by a company that, like, I
US
forget what
Gold?
else. That was the publisher.
That's publisher, that's right.
Yeah, the developer was a company. God, what was their Freestyle Interactive or whatever? And the only fucking other thing they ever made was a game based off of an Amiga game based off of like a fucking British sketch comedy show that spun off into a horribly reviewed series of amusement parks.
Of course!
So not JJ and Jeff.
No, not JJ. But yeah, like it sucks with like that like Mega Man Game Gear was definitely better than that other game they made, but so that's a hodgepodge of like bosses from like Mega Man 4 and 5, I want to say.
I think that's right, yes.
But then arbitrarily, right at the end, it just makes you do the Quickman lasers.
Had to get
For
those
no
in there
reason.
somewhere.
And it puts them in after the, like, several levels after the last point you can get a fucking password.
Ah.
Oh. That's just mean.
And
Come to
it's
think
like,
of it, did you do like Wonder Swan, Mega Man, and Bass?
of course I did. That game is a story sequel to Mega Man 2 Game Boy.
Yeah, I was about to say The Adventures of Quint.
Yeah.
That had to be a
That game-
choice.
That game sucks extremely, but in an extremely funny way. Yeah, I can go down the list of everything I did.
Yeah, no, I was
I
just
have it
making
in the
sure.
order I did them.
Because I've been playing Mega Man games for a secret project recently, and, like, yeah. There's a lot
How
out
can I
there.
commiserate with you?
I mean, I didn't force myself to play everything, but I did play a lot.
Can't believe you weren't willing to play Mirai Kata Nacho Sunshine.
I mean, I wanted to find a way to get Adventure Rockman in there, but just like, no, there's no way I can play this.
Did you play the Wonder Swan Rockman.exe platformer?
Yes, I did.
That game's super weird because it's like based off the anime.
Yes, it is.
And everyone looks like they're trying to do pixel art versions of the anime, which are already trying to do hand-drawn versions of pixel art. And it looks weird as shit.
I was about to say, I thought it was just kind of a fault of the system that they couldn't figure out a way to make this look like anything but somebody would want to see.
I mean, it was also not made by Capcom. It was made by Bandai.
Wait, did you not recruit Pip the first time through?
Oh yeah, I absolutely did.
Okay, so why did it ask you to name him again?
Anybody you recruit gets the renaming.
Okay.
Now's your chance.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that it actually does, if you're unaware, it does actually preserve names you've changed even before you get them, so to speak. So, like for instance, you fight Karsh and Zoa, but if you rename them, like, Steve and Ed, then, you know, they are Steve and Ed in boss fights and everything. So that's kind of neat.
And you didn't rename anyone Francis Bacon.
That is true. But I did
Just
rename
disappointed.
Lucky Dan.
Did you rename Zoa to be Zoa in all caps?
I should have.
You fucking failed.
I
I
apologize.
have no son.
Shut up, Dad. I love that just using Luminaire in every single fight here is just the answer. Everything is
It's better than
go.
actually fighting.
I was gonna say it's true in Chrono Trigger.
This is
Yeah.
also true. Fargo's
I
fighting
remember.
ghosts.
I remember giving Chrono the gold earring, or is it gold earring or gold stud that reduces your
Gold stud? I
mana
don't
cost. Yeah, I gotta. It's
Yeah,
been a while, but you give him.
Whichever
Yeah,
one takes
that
it down
and the-
75%.
Yeah, so it's only like 5 MP to cast Luminaire, and it's just like, no, it's 19 free or cast, so I'll probably hit a sleep point sometime, and
Okay, yeah, it's the gold stud.
yeah.
Is there, like, a single thing in Chrono Trigger that is resistant to lightning? I guess it is. I mean, I guess there has to be, right?
I think it just
I don't know if
overpowers
there's anything
anyway.
resistant enough for it to matter.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
is there anything that, like, looks at Luminaire is like, no, screw you.
I think it doesn't work quite as well. No, it doesn't work on the Black Tyranno as well, but I know you're supposed to lightning hand.
I mean, it would end poorly if you used it on Son of Sun.
Oh yeah, that's like the one thing.
Son of Sun's a cheat, though.
Yes.
Remember Son of a Gun?
Yes. Like, it was only a couple weeks back. It's kind of amazing how much easier. I mean, I know it's New Game Plus, but it's kind of amazing how quickly these battles go now.
Almost at the pace they ought to have gone.
Pretty much. In the name of Davy Jones, what have we done? Alright, I think I gotta go to Marble here.
Marbule. I'm thinking about the extremely bad Marvel comic Marvel.
Oh God.
I'm sorry to have done that to you.
You're just asking for trouble, aren't you?
I didn't mean to hurt you. Oh man.
Bob, are you familiar with Marvel?
I am familiar with Marvel.
I'm sorry.
I love that, like, by the end, it's just given up. Like, here's a submission guideline.
A submission guideline.
Epic Comics issue number 7 does not contain any story content related to the events of Marvel and is a submission guideline book for creators on how to submit their works to Epic Comics.
You know, as bad as Marvel was, at least it wasn't trouble.
God, that was my first thought.
Why?
It's funny because Spider fans are always like, God, one more time or one more day was the worst thing that ever happened to Spider-Man. I'm like, no. Oh, you sweet summer child.
Let's all talk about trouble and sins past. Oh God, be here for hours.
I mean, like, could anybody throw the Trouble cover into the Discord? Because that's always fun.
I don't want to.
No, I will not repost child porn.
I super don't want to be involved.
Child
I don't want to be party to this.
of Aunt May.
That's what's implied, yes.
Sucks.
Turns out she was a huge slut. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but...
If there's anything wrong. Nothing. Peter Parker, we apologize. There's nothing wrong with your aunt being a huge slut. But she was a huge slut.
You slept with both your dad and your uncle.
You know, as you do. I still don't know if that's a more calculated attack on people who've read too much Spider-Man than Sins Past, though.
Well, Sins Past is no longer.
Yeah, they
happened.
did officially write that out. I think Trouble they just stopped talking about in hopes you wouldn't ask.
Yeah, Troll's officially was never canon, but it's oh God.
They didn't want to talk about it. So there's something. Since past, they at least went to the trouble of saying that wasn't real, that was fake.
That was fake.
Yep, pretty much. It's all plot by Harry Osborn.
Harry, why did you think this up? What was your thought process here?
How did you
Hey, Pete,
hypnotize
remember
people
that
into thinking
time
you're
my
dead
dad
at
banged
6?
your dead girlfriend?
Jeez.
I mean, it's a sin, alright.
And what's worse is I don't know if that's Sins Past is either better the way it was written or the way it was supposed to happen.
Oh yeah, because it was originally just supposed to be Pete's kid?
Yeah, they were supposed to be Pete's kids.
Yeah. I mean, it would have made a degree more sense.
Yeah. It would have been still terrible, but it would have made more sense.
You could at least understand the concept of where it came from in that context.
Mm-hmm. And then you wouldn't have Norman Osborn's O-Face and...
Listen, can you imagine robbing the world of that?
I forgot what set the world on fire was Norman Osborn's O-Face. Like, that was the thing everybody was talking about.
All of Spider-Man's, like, ideas about, like, characters having sex goes to Hell in a Handbasket, because there's also around that time Spider-Man Reign.
I was about to say Spider-Man Reign, which is also, you know, do not have sex with Spider-Man, it will kill you.
Got super cancer from its super sperm.
I love that they basically.
Spider-Man.
I was about to say they recalled the freaking theme song by being like, "My radioactive blood."
Is he
Not
strong?
just my
Listen,
blood.
Punk. He's got radioactive spunk.
Oh,
God.
no. Also, I like how your characters come back here. I don't think they have a good reason to do it. They just do.
I didn't even do it. Like, I was thinking, this is when Kid comes back, right?
And you just sort of wander back here. I guess like you were just to check it to see if she had died of poisoning yet.
A stranger
Badger.
showed up with a certain item.
They should put Rain Spider-Man on the next Spider-Verse movie.
Please, no.
Badger points out that he forgot that Sin's Past was Straczynski. Dude has the back or knack for bad ideas. I think he. Oh God, what? I remember hearing something like, yeah, that one he didn't want to write. I know he didn't want to write One More Day.
Yeah, he very specifically was under duress writing One More Day.
Yeah, but I think Sin's Past. I don't think it was his idea, basically.
It does sound
Like-
like something an editor thought of and then got cold feet on.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but this won't be happening long. Incidentally, I feel like part of the reason that this is part of the other dimension thing, or whatever you want to call it, Kid up and about in this robe with her hair down, I think is supposed to be evocative of Shala, but absolutely isn't in any conceivable way.
It's only evocative of Shala if you have already seen how she looks like at the end of this game.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're going off of what you remember from the previous game, she had purple hair in a ponytail.
Yes. No, I mean, it is something that, like, doesn't work.
Yeah.
But anyway, Doc joins the party.
Dude.
All right, back to talking about radioactive spiders for her.
Spider blood.
All right.
Blood. Radioactive spider blood.
I love that song.
What a time.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, we officially now have these 3 losers in the party. I am going to... Was there such a thing? I am going to murder Lavos and get whatever stupid ending you get at this point, and then we're going to do what should take 5 minutes for a freaking Pierre, and then it's a night.
Okay.
You really feel obligated to this game in a way that is entirely undeserved.
Yeah, just, I mean, well, it was a game that I was excited about at one point.
I should replay Brave Fencer Musashi. That's a good square game from PS1.
Yeah, no, that is actually a good one.
That would make a good stream game, because it's not super long.
No, although it is kind of like Mega Man Legends in that it's a game that I beat and can remember beating, but I might screw up repeatedly. Like, the minute I'm on stream, I will die 17,000 times.
Yeah.
I played through that a number of times, so I can at least try to help.
Well, I mean, Mega Man Legends I remember not being all that difficult, but then I got wrecked by that one random boss.
There's a couple of parts that are difficult because of the kind of dated platforming. When I last replayed it, it was actually less difficult than I remembered, so...
Was Brave Fencer Musashi ever released digitally, or... I mean, I've got it
Nope.
on disc.
I'm
Okay.
convinced that there's likely issues with the dub.
Okay.
Like, in terms of, like, specifically the contracts that were drawn up around it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like, that was one of my favorite PS1 games.
Yeah, amusingly enough, my copy of Brave Fencer Musashi, I mean, it's been 20 years, but actually is a traded copy from a friend who I traded it for Dragon Ball GT Final Bout.
Oh man,
Yep.
Oh.
someone got like, man, they got fucked in that one.
Yep, that was me.
It's the Grando. Welcome to the Grando.
But I mean, I was able to buy the reissue of Final Bout, so I'm not upset.
I mean, it was like, in terms of like dollar value, you lost a lot, but in terms of like entertainment value, you gained a lot. So
Yes. Yeah, in terms of dollar value, I mean, like, it's not like I resell my games anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
it's an intellectual curiosity whether the
Yes.
game is of value at this stage.
Yes, agreed.
I like the Dragon Ball GT Final Bout sucks extremely, and it's not even the worst Dragon Ball fighting game on PS1.
And dude, can I just tell you how amazing it was playing Final Bout before everything had aired in America?
It's like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Oh, dude, like, Majin Buu and the fusion characters are just like, what is even going on?
Like, I mean, I would have, like, if I had had access to it, like, I only saw screenshots of it. Like, what the fuck is Super Saiyan 4?
Well, I mean, like, Super Saiyan 4 I could understand. The idea that somehow Goku and Vegeta are one person now, and there is zero explanation for that. Like, my imagination trying to figure out exactly what could have happened is just like, alright.
I remember I remember talking to a friend who was, you know, the kind of friend that people have in grade school where, like, you know, sometimes they'll tell you something that's, like, real, and sometimes they'll just fucking lie for no reason.
Oh yeah, I was definitely that friend when I was in
No, Jesus.
age.
So basically, they had internet access, and they started talking about how, like, in one of the later part, like, because, like, at the time they were still just airing the Frieza arc in the US. And he's like, oh, later there's Bulma and Vegeta's kid, and his name is Trunks, and he comes from the future. And it's like, you are fucking shitting me, like you always fucking do.
Guess what?
Yep, I bet wrong there.
Chrono
Probably well. What's up?
Chrono Cross, huh?
You came back.
Yeah. We did not manage to kill it somehow.
This is absolutely the last night, I swear.
But yeah, I cast my vote that a future stream series be Brave Fencer Musashi.
Wait, was there? What were the other options?
There weren't any. I was just casting a vote.
There weren't any.
We have the Brave Fencer Musashi party.
We gonna kill Lavos with a
I thought you were
surfer
gonna
and a
drop
dolphin.
Pellet on there.
I forgot that Doc is equipped with the same weapon as Snef.
Sure, why not?
Like, they're
Who gives a
just...
fuck?
It doesn't matter.
None of this shit matters.
Hey, look, it's Kid again.
Yay!
So she, like, I don't know why they also de-aged her.
I mean, like, was she supposed to be all that quote-unquote old in Chrono Trigger?
I feel
Java?
she was like 18.
Yeah, she seemed like she was, like, at least a young adult. She's definitely older than Magus was at the time, and, like, this looks like maybe
yeah.
the age he was.
Yeah, no, that would make
No,
sense.
no, he was about 6.
Yeah, she looks like she's all of maybe 10. If you're being generous, so I don't know. Like, I definitely would interpret that Shala as younger looking than what the sprite implies. And I don't know what their thinking was for that.
I was going to say a lot younger than what the Toriyama art implied.
Yeah, I need to go look at that.
It's good art.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I don't get how this happened.
Doc has a pretty cool coat. Yeah, no, everything about the redesign of Shala is ridiculous because, like, I would say that Shala is a very for being an NPC who, like, sort of barely exists in the plot. Like, she makes
She's
it
important,
different,
so she is distinctive.
but she's
No, yeah.
visually distinctive. Like, you can't,
Yeah.
like, she's not like a typical Chrono Trigger NPC or even like a Zillion NPC. Like, you can tell
Yeah,
her
like
apart.
she's supposed to stick out.
Yeah, and making her kind of a generically young blonde is kind of like, all right.
So did they just do they just like I was gonna say, do they just dye their hair blue or purple or whatever? But no, because like
I assumed that it was like they had the weird hair colors because they're magical.
Mhm.
I
That makes sense.
remember back in the day, there were comments that, like, oh, in the original Japanese translation, they made comments about they're dyeing their hair to differentiate themselves from the Terrans, who are blonde. But
I don't believe that for a
But
second.
that's
without
the thing,
five
is
backing
that, like,
sources.
I don't think that was ever confirmed, like, in any real way. Like,
There's a part of the internet that I don't miss at all, but also kind of miss, where someone would be like, where like you had no access to like to Japanese resources, so you would get
yeah.
some like someone would just make up some bullshit.
My
and then
brother
say
who
from
lives
some
in
Japanese
Japan.
databook you've never seen.
Leo comes back to life, I swear.
They tell you how to do it in the Ultimania in Japan.
Oh yeah, that was a huge one. The perfect
Like
guide
anything could have been
says
those
this.
Ultimania books.
So what all like side quests and shit did I miss?
You just missed the path where you take Guile to Viper Manor and choose not to help the kid. And of course,
We
you
were
brought
talking.
fucking Poshel for some reason.
Technically, the reason I brought Pushel is because the one rainbow item you get for free is the glove, and Pushel uses the glove as the weapon. So I was trying to think if we have anybody else who uses a glove weapon, which there's a lot of them, but I think they mostly come from the end of the game. Like anybody who
Pushu shoot full speed ahead.
anybody who punches gets the glove.
I wouldn't describe what Poshel's doing as punching, but there.
It uses a paw. Or she, excuse me.
Sometimes she also just spins.
I know we said this on the Xenogears thing, but Pushel and the various Xeno mascot creatures should hang out.
Poshel and Choo Choo are basically the same character.
Yeah. But neither one of them are worthy enough to hang with Hero Pound Ricky.
Holy poly, keep on rolling.
The question is, can Ricky afford to feed everyone?
Hmm. Need to go back and finish my game of Xenoblade 1.
On which system?
Switch. Not hooking up my Wii. Screw that.
Yeah,
Or my Wii U.
Switch version's
Ah.
really nice.
I mean, the Switch version looks great, but this is another situation where, like, I refuse to buy that game again without the ability to play with my, like, New Game Plus save. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's like, I just do not have the hours in my life to play through that again.
Yeah, I know. My save file's at like 100.
Yeah,
The
even
Switch
if...
version is the one to play, but there's still a part of me that's like just enamored that someone succeeded in creating a functional port to the new 3DS.
Yes, I understand that.
I'm still amazed that it came out on the Wii.
It was an impressive Wii game, and it was a weirdly impressive 3DS game.
What, like, do we have a
New
final...
3DS.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do we have a final count on what came out for the new 3DS exclusively? Because obviously that used...
There's a couple of new 3DS enhanced games. Do you count those?
No.
What
Okay,
game are we
then.
talking about?
The new 3DS had its own share of games.
I
Like,
was gonna say there's a
Yeah.
bunch of digital only.
Yeah. Binding of
Well, I
Isaac
mean, what game
Rebirth.
what game were you talking about like previously?
Xenoblade.
Oh,
Oh,
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade 3DS.
Mm.
I want to say Scott the Laws did a video on new 3DS games.
I mean, I'm just curious now that the 3DS is 100% dead. Like, if there was ever, like, a sort of justification for it beyond Xenoblade.
Not really. Like, Fire Emblem Warriors shouldn't have been playable on the original 3DS.
Yeah. Forgot about Fire Emblem Warriors.
You could play that on original 3DS, but you absolutely shouldn't.
I played on new 3DS either, honestly.
Shouldn't, but like at the very least, you could theoretically do it without clone Horizon.
Yeah.
I mean, Hyrule Warriors, I wonder if anybody ever did a deep dive on that 3DS one, because there were definitely, at least on my own games, like, I played Hyrule Warriors on it was on Wii U, right? I played it on Wii U and 3DS. I did not play it on Switch, but any given Wii U beat 3,000 enemies or whatever the hell would be a challenge was not a problem. But when I played it on the 3DS, it was like, okay, 3 characters are spawning at a time. I will complete this challenge in 3 years. Like, it was kind of obvious the system was having problems with putting as many characters on the screen as I wanted to kill.
So how's the fighting going, Hallie?
Well, the tournament doesn't start for another 15 minutes.
Still time to fail us in the end.
But will Lavos be dead by then?
Not even close.
The Time Devourer. At least we're doing damage more consistently than we did when we just push on Surge.
I was gonna ask, is the Game Genie still on? I see everyone has full health.
Everyone has full health. Lavos is repeatedly missing. We've got full elementals, even though we're not even using them anymore. Like, the Game Genie is on. I'm glad that's built into this Switch game. Come to think of it, I haven't played it yet, but does the new... is it pronounced Live-A-Live? Live-A-Live? Whatever.
Live Alive. If you look at the katakana, it's very specifically Live Alive.
Does that have built-in cheats?
No.
Aww. Chrono Cross is spoiled me.
You're gonna need to get a real, honest-to-God Game Genie.
Yes.
Those don't exist anymore.
Oh, I miss those. Anyway, want a list of new 3DS exclusive games?
Yes.
Sure.
This is according to some wiki page here. There's Binding of Isaac, Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
That's eShop only. Forma.8, also eShop only. I'm just going to list the eShop only ones. Lightspeed is eShop only. Silver Falls, 3 Down Stars. And then for cartridge, you got Blockform, Brick Race, Dragon Fang Z, which was apparently Japanese exclusive, I think. A lot of these are. Let's see. Futurism EP Deluxe. Minecraft.
Oh yeah, Minecraft.
I didn't realize that was new 3DS exclusive, but it's also not surprising.
That was something I heard about from the kids that I randomly deal with. That, like, oh, that was the reason to have a new 3DS. Or that was the big thing that, like, Grandma got you a copy of Minecraft, and no, you can't play it on the system you have.
Let's see. Pinball Hall of Fame Williams Collection.
Finally.
Pirate Pop Plus. Pixel Hunter.
Yes!
Rainbow Pocket. Oh, did you win?
No, I'm just excited about Pixel Hunter.
Yeah. Okay. Rainbow Pocket. And Wind Up Night 2, plus Xenoblade, of course.
How is that not Clockwork Knight?
Yeah. Yeah, so Minecraft was definitely the other killer app for new 3DS that would justify that. Other than that, because is Minecraft available portably any other way? I mean, other than now, of course, Switch and vaguely Wii U.
There was the mobile versions.
Yeah, mobile version.
Are they like any good?
I don't think they needed to be, but I think the issue with the mobile versions was I don't think they had parity of feature, but like they were probably good enough for what people needed them for.
Which is to entertain kids at the restaurants.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the new 3DS only games, were those only digitally available?
No, there were a couple cartridges.
Like
Yeah, there's
Xenoblade
several
definitely had a
cartridges.
cartridge.
And then if you tried to put it on like a regular 3DS, it like
I think it just wouldn't fit. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have different like.
I think they had different cartridges.
So the
yeah,
regular
that was how
3DS
Nintendo
cartridges
usually
could
did
fit.
things. Because because Game Boy Color games wouldn't fit in a regular Game Boy either.
Yep,
Ah, I
because of
see,
the
I
tab.
see.
Raspberry Badger mentions that his nephew plays Minecraft any way he can. And Brakeman says, yeah, there's a bunch of garbage digital games, presumably because there was a new 3DS category on the eShop that was mostly empty.
Ah, that'll do it. That would explain Pixel Hunter.
Just something to make it stand out.
I mean, the new 3DS, like, you could smell the sort of 32X of it, where it was just kind of like, we're trying to get something out of this, but you know there ain't gonna be anything good here.
It was a less bad idea than 32X.
Hey man, I would buy Knuckles Chaotix for the new 3DS.
Why? Knuckles Chaotix isn't even good.
I'm waiting for it to come to Sonic Origins as a DLC.
Then you can enjoy Vector the Crocodile's horrible ball spinning animation where he's like a weak donut.
Yes. I love that Knuckles Chaotix has two characters that are a punishment.
The
Bomb
whole
and
game is a
Heavy.
punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the weirdest thing about Knuckles Chaotix is that, like, the one thing it gets right is the special stages. Like, those are actually good, fun special stages.
Oh yeah, they are. The ones that are like 3D not filled in are kind of like an interesting kind of challenge.
And also just, like, they're not moving so fast that it's impossible to parse what's happening.
I mean, in playing it again on Sonic Origins, like, good God, the half pipes of Sonic 2, like, why did we put up with that shit?
And the Sonic Origins ones are an improvement.
Yes. And they're still not something I ever want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
At least they move, smoothly this time instead of being choppy. But
Bum, ba-da-ba-bum, bum, 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 bum.
Also, Brakeman points out that the Super Nintendo Virtual Console was new 3DS exclusive.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, I
was
didn't
good.
I didn't want to point that stuff out because that's
Yeah. There was at least some mildly desirable objects.
I mean, I said this before, and it's the reason I own a new 3DS, but Nintendo, if you put out a system and it plays Super Metroid, I will buy it. Just
I was going to make a joke that you had done it for Castlevania Dracula X.
still have my Wii U with the Virtual Console port of Rondo of Blood on it.
Same here.
I wish it was Rondo of Blood.
Dracula X.
God, Dracula X. Very expensive now, though.
Yeah, that one I didn't
The original cartridge of that is
expensive.
bafflingly expensive. And
Yeah, what is that
mostly
up
just
to
hurt
currently?
yourself. Let's go look. Castlevania.
I mean, that was one that I bought late, but not late enough that it was $200. But
Okay, let's look at.
I mean, that was definitely prime rental game.
Yeah, let's see if we can find eBay feed listings. It's way easier to check completed listings for this sort of thing. And you can at least see what people actually pay for it. Okay, this is a cart-only copy going for $400.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's what Castlevania Dracula X on the Super Nintendo
It's
goes
not
for.
even like you
get
can't
that
play
card.
it in other places.
Yep.
Like, I remember for the longest time, the excuse for Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3 was like, oh, it was the only way you could actually play it. Because the emulation isn't perfect.
Yeah.
But...
Oh no, the wireframes are imperfect. Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things where like you play it and it's like, oh, I wish I hadn't.
Oh, hey, so Serge is married to Lisa now, huh?
I don't think he's married. I think
Yep.
he just works there.
Come back before
Well.
dinner. I don't know about that.
Time to get down to business. Jeez. Lisa. What's up the shop first, at least?
But what's important is that if he marries Lisa, then Fun Guy will be his father-in-law.
That sucks. What happened to your loud, annoying voice?
Wow.
I don't know why they immediately start trying to kill each other. I guess it's over Surge, but
Because he has a personality that we all care about.
we love him, don't we?
So, what ending is this?
This is the dumb ending.
They're
You
all
say that
dumb
like there's
endings.
non-dumb endings. This is just like, because the story doesn't really go anywhere and none of these characters are characters, it doesn't make any sense when things happen.
Also, I like the fact that it's Lisa and she's got her dad, and there's a big sign that says Yuri's shop on it.
Surgical would never do something like that.
It understands what's going on. When Badger says he bought a 32X to play Knuckles Chaotix, but he's never played it.
Nice.
Stay the course. It's very pretty, it's
Yeah.
got great music, and then you play it and it's like, oh, why did I bother?
Did you get the actual ending in a previous stream? I don't remember.
Long ago and far away, yeah.
Yeah, we did that in the was that week 9?
Presumably week 9, because you decided we needed a 10 stream.
Did you
Someone just
play
do
just to
mad
get
libs
some
to
joke
make this?
endings?
I mean, the reason I'm playing is because I wanted to get to show the alternate paths, which Pierre here is going to be our final alternate path after this. But that should take all of 5 minutes.
This is like just a fucking Mad Lib of an ending.
Pierre, Salt, and Pepper designed to storm Fort Trigonia.
Yeah, like Surge is married to Lisa, and Lena and Kid are pissed.
Well, the kid's not so much pissed, but Lena really is.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be back.
I do like the implication that Lena is just an absolute monster if you cross her. Like 9
I think
Yeah,
that's
times.
pretty much
sure.
implied with the dialogue before.
Yes.
She's one of the few people with character, like, if you were gonna cut Chrono Cross down and, like, expand characters, she'd be one of the ones you'd bring.
Yes. Yeah, I actually wrote up a post about that that'll be coming up in like 4 weeks. But that is absolutely something I agree with.
Yeah. Give her a special attack where she summons Partial for an attack all good.
That would be a good use of Potion, I
Yeah,
think.
that would make sense. Call it like Hometown Best or something.
You call it Best in Show.
Oh, there you go. And it's like a element you find in her dog bowl.
Yeah.
Sure. Be like her level 3 tech.
Yeah. You finish a side quest and Potion shows you what's in a dog bowl. It's like a...
Badger, so she's just Renoa. Yeah, kinda.
A little bit.
Dog punches.
She's got a bit less of the, like, weird, like, woman-child vibes that Renoa gives off at various points.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wonder if that is like a deliberate thing on the writer's point, or if just so many people don't know how to write a woman being quote unquote childish without making them childlike.
Infantile.
Yes, because like there are plenty of immature men in video games, and I feel like they get right in that regard. But I feel
You
like
have a lot of options that aren't just act like a child.
right. Whereas when you get immature women, and I'm using air quotes that you can't see, inevitably it is like they wind up acting like a Sailor Moon character.
Fighting evil by
Yeah, which those characters are supposed to be like 12.
14. But
Okay.
still, point taken that they have an excuse.
Yes. Like, you know, Amy doesn't have her shit together. She's also in junior high. Okay, so we are loading up, so now we can take the Pierre route, which, amusingly enough, we just saw Pierre on the ending.
Yeah, it almost seemed like you planned that.
Yes, hooray. Who is this guy? Let's learn more.
Do we have to?
No. But
Good.
we're going to. And literally, once
God
we
damn
get to Fort Dragonia Night, we're calling it a night.
it.
But
Calling it a night?
Oh!
Boo.
But then we'll have an even 10 Chrono Cross streams, and I can make 10 posts about it on the website. And then once that's done, I'm going to post about Xenogears after like 2 years.
Have you considered that you might have some sort of compulsion-based disorder?
I do. I learned from Penny Arcade in 1999 that I should update my website 3 times a week.
Just never updated that guidance since.
And that is how the internet works, and I need to continue to do it.
Sigma grindset.
So I'm going to use recycled Let's Plays or videos, even worse streams. The first Chrono Cross, amusingly enough, I'm finishing Chrono Cross tonight, and then the first Chrono Cross post goes up on the website tomorrow. And then this will be this stream that you're listening to right now will be uploaded in 10 weeks, and people listening to it will be confused by it. It is like an Ouroboros of insanity.
My brain is forever poisoned by playing Disco Elysium. Anytime I think of the term grindset, I think of like one of the dialogue options in that game, which is to declare that you have a grindset, that you're a money engineer.
Oh, it is time to fight.
Are you once
I
again...
could watch Cali Scrub fight, or I could watch Gogglebot play a game I hate.
Callie, are you once again fighting as Venom?
Yes.
Venom.
Venom.
That's my character.
I mean, I don't know. You could at any time decide that, you know, somebody else.
Okay,
is your character.
so what is it? Last week, so once a month, they make a. Let me share this. Let me share my screen first for whoever is done with Chrono Cross.
Me.
Okay, yeah. So last week, is my stream working?
Yeah.
Okay. Last week was like, you know, every week on Tuesday there's a tournament, and once a month there's like a twist. It's like a gimmick tournament. And last week was you instead of playing who you usually play, you have to take this Guilty Gear character quiz and play who you get from that. Unless you get your main, and then you play your second choice. So last week I was actually playing Dizzy, and I did very badly. Although I guess I normally
Unlike
do
when
very
you play
badly.
I like Dizzy. I don't know how to play as
Let's
her
play
at all,
Dizzy.
but I like her.
I think that's called playing a Guilty Gear game. I don't know how to play this character at all, but
I mean, like, conceptually, I understand what you're supposed to be doing with Venom. Dizzy, not so much.
like, Venom is an obnoxious owner character.
Yes,
as
exactly.
We're told.
I actually did get Venom as my first choice in the character quiz, so Dizzy was my number 2.
I seem to recall back in the day before you started playing Exotic, you considered yourself a Kai guy.
Oh god! Well, I am a dead guy.
See, Venom's game plan is to like throw pool balls at you, and May's game plan is Totsugeki.
I'm sorry, just by I know nobody's watching the stream anymore, but by complete random chance, I'm kidding. By complete random chance, like, Pushel winds up being the one who has to make random comments like, "Oh, small child, you should return that," but in typical Pushel voice.
Which is to say, with a lisp.
I'm not dealing with these kids. We got other places.
Yeah, the Evo training arc is starting quite badly.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think you got a chance. But I hope you had fun.
Thank you.
Prove me wrong, and call me an asshole when you do.
Pierre gracefully joins your party.
Does he, though?
Well, he joins.
He joins.
So, technically, Pierre joining the party does mean now officially on stream I have recruited every party member.
Why?
Because I can. He comes equipped with the bone sword. Sounds more interesting than it is.
No time to forget, you never change, and never listen.
Alright. Fill up everybody.
No! This is turning out very badly.
For anybody who's switched over to Callie's stream, he is apparently getting wrecked.
Isn't that just the normal?
And that's it for the first round.
Who are you actually fighting, Callie?
I was fighting May.
Ah,
I got beaten to death.
I was gonna say you
By
got
an
dolphined.
Yes, an anchor and multiple dolphins.
Totsugeki.
I admit I was vaguely excited about Guilty Gear when I found out the whole, like, monthly naming plan of the stupid jellyfish pirates.
Imagine being
Okay, so Pierre just goes in through the front gate.
Yes, Pierre does, like the whole joke is that the other characters have these
does not have an actual
complicated
plan.
plans, and Pierre's like, "Here I come," and he's there to get a job.
Pierre, are there French people in Chrono Trigger? If so, please ask them how you're actually supposed to speak French for me. Moi am a hero?
It's not so much that Chrono Cross has a France, it's also that it has an Australia as well.
It has so
And
many
only one
places.
person is from either.
And also, apparently, if you live in another dimension, you might have a Cockney accent.
Just like real life. And me from another dimension is actually Liverpudlian.
Pierre actually kind of looks cool in HD.
It's foiled,
They're good character designs for the most part in this game. It's just
like the redesigns tend to be not great, but like the new ones look fine. That man died.
Yeah, I like that Pierre's applying for a job by killing people at the front gate.
If you're applying for a job at the guard, that's a pretty good one.
Your guards
look, you have an
suck.
opening. You need somebody. I beat your old guard, so
Can I wear my hat?
I'm your bodyguard and Ace Gunman, just as advertised.
also I'm kind of glad that this game doesn't have voiceover.
Oh god, imagine.
Agreed. Yeah, it's kind of funny going through like the Mega Man Legends streams, and it's like, oh yeah, there was no subtitles.
Yeah, regretful.
Accessibility options were so bad back then.
Uh-huh.
Still are
not
now.
great.
I was gonna say still not good, but they're better.
Better than they were.
So here's the centerpiece of the Pierre route. Salt,
Someone doesn't.
pepper, and ketchup. Who is basically a human Pokemon who just shouts the word tomato over and over again.
I forgot about ketchup entirely.
That's okay.
How come he didn't make the party?
Because he's too
They were
wide.
scout for time. Oh, he has the rightly excused. What a man now.
Go, ketchup.
Sauce.
Here comes the racer. He's a demon on wheels.
I'm just thinking of Final Fantasy VII Remake with the sauce.
Oh, I get it. Metal song.
Alright.
Oh, that was worthless.
Yeah. Why? Pierre is technically, I think, if you're there, I'm sure there's a guide somewhere on Chrono Cross the optimal choices you can make, and I think Pierre is technically the optimal choice of the three, because Nikki, you can still get his level 7 tech, even if he wasn't really in your party, and Guile learns his level 7 tech, just normally. But Pierre, you have to discover like various things across the game, which I don't think you can do if he isn't part of the party. So, like, taking him is the best way to make him the best.
I want you to imagine a world where you think the strongest form of Pierre is an optimal outcome for him.
It's such a beautiful world.
I'm finding, and I'm going to guess, I can't actually imagine what that world looks like.
Okay. My next opponents need to message.
I'm still here. Are you going to beat me or not?
I am still here and ready to get absolutely spanked.
There we go. The absolute
what you were
best
waiting
we can
for.
get from Tomato. Bro has a triple tech where he literally kills his own party members.
Hmm.
Can we defend and see what he does in their absence?
Imagine if they'd let you recruit Sultan Pepor.
I guarantee that if they did in the tradition of Chrono Cross Advance, like back in the day when they would re-release games with new content, Salt and Pepper would be playable characters.
100%, yeah.
They're not? I thought you could recruit them.
Nope. The last you
Just
deal with
seemed
them
usually.
is they have a confrontation with Karsh, but that is it.
They just sort of disappear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, they have their confrontation with Karsh, and then they learn that Karsh is a good guy, and then they just kind of hang out and don't do anything. I mean, their boss is already working for you. Like, why do they need to do it?
Well, that means that they should be working for you too by the terms of the property.
I'm fighting a lady piloting a giant old man robot.
Yeah, I never understood what was going on with that character.
I
Like,
think you just figured it out.
What's the
It's a
explanation?
lady piloting
Why
a
not?
giant old man robot.
Like, is that from a village where that's normal?
It's just something to do.
All right, there we go. It's officially nightfall. I'm going to hit a save point because why would I lose
Free.
my Pierre knowledge? But I have officially recruited every character in Chrono Cross and seen the significant scenarios, and oh boy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entirety of Chrono Cross. If you have any further questions about Chrono Cross, please consult your local library.
Or Let's Play Archive. They got some pretty good stuff on there.
Are you suggesting to watch another Let's Play after this Let's Play?
Yeah.
No, read it. Read it.
Also, and I'm going to be real here. Are you suggesting that your local library is stocking versus books from 20 years ago?
They might. I dropped them off recently. No. I keep bringing them. They keep putting them out, I swear. I've got an entire stock. I robbed a GameStop back
A
in the day.
warehouse.
Yes. All right. On that note, we're gonna call it a night on the stream. So,
See ya.
thank
Good
you
night,
for
everybody.
watching Chrono Cross. This is the official end. Have a good one.